Warning, we are a spoilers podcast. At times we are also an offensive podcast. And we are most certainly a verbally explicit podcast. So if you fear for any of your delicate sensibilities, please back up now before you reach the point of no return. Alright, pussies, this is your final warning.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Cinematic Anarchy. Thank you for pressing that button and joining us here tonight. With me this evening we have Mr. Omar.
Yes, sir. Hello, people.
And we are doing a two-man podcast tonight because Miss B is currently down with a sickness.
Like corn.
Like corn, yes. This is take number 2. We had our volume up. We don't have soundproofing in this place, so we had our volume up to the point that people on the floor below us could hear, and it was disturbing them. And I don't want to disturb people, so here we are, not disturbing people.
Yeah, exactly.
And this evening we're going to be discussing a film, a martial arts film called Ip Man. Which I had to actually say over like about 6 or 7 times before actually watching the movie. They only mentioned it like a couple of times near the middle and end of the movie. But I was calling it IP Man for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
I had what you call a brain fart there. Sorry, everybody.
Just a bit of dead air. It's okay. Well, we were in the groove for a moment, then we were taken completely out of the groove, and now we're back into the groove again.
We're trying to.
Trying our level best.
Yes. Give it an old college try.
So, anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to read a very brief synopsis of the movie, or a basic rundown of what the movie's about before we get started, which is not something we've done in the past. But considering we veer off of the actual meaning of the movie so often, it's good to at least tell them what we watched.
Yeah.
So, during the Japanese invasion of China, a wealthy martial artist is forced to leave his home when his city is occupied. With little means of providing for themselves, Ip Man and the surviving members of the city must find a way to survive. So,
a lot of survival in that whole synopsis.
A lot of survival. We must survive. Oh, no, not I.
We must survive and must find a way to survive.
Oh, no, not I. What the hell is wrong with me?
In order to survive.
Right.
It was a badass movie, definitely.
Oh,
it started as a study in male ego, and towards the middle of the movie, it became more about basically dignity, the dignity of the dignity and pride of the human spirit.
Yeah, I mean, definitely did. It was probably one of the better martial arts films that I've had a chance to watch in a long time, and I don't get to watch a lot of martial arts films at all. Like, at all. That says a lot.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good, and it was pretty accurate with what the environment was during that time. I've read up on it a lot over the years. And that's basically what was going on with martial arts. They were very prevalent, and it was like it was all the rage during that time. And everybody either wanted to be or admired a martial artist.
I think I don't even know what to say. I think my disenchantment with martial arts films came from 2 different things. The over-popularization of Jackie Chan films. And that's what everybody thought martial arts films were for a while, and that's not what they are.
That's everything.
Jackie Chan is one thing, but I mean, if you're expecting that all martial arts films are Jackie Chan-esque, then you're missing out on something. Because technically, if I'm not mistaken, Jackie Chan's not technically a martial artist, but a stage fighter.
Exactly. But then again, he's good at what he does, and he has carved his niche in that micro universe of the Asian movie industry that in America was very successful as well. So you really can't really knock him for it. But yes, the way they flooded everything with that and everybody following on that formula because you have to make the money, I can see where anybody will get disappointed. I always, was lucky enough to grow up in martial arts, and beyond that, there were a lot of films that were coming out that were not as popular when they came out, but then during the 80s, there were like cult classics, if you will say.
Yeah, I think a lot of the martial arts films I grew up on were because of my and this is rough for me to say, but I have a friend of mine that was really into the Wu-Tang Clan, and he introduced me to the Wu-Tang Clan. It's not rough for me to say. It's just my introduction to martial arts movies were through my actual love of Wu-Tang's music.
Yeah, because they were very, very influenced by martial arts film. Basically, every album that they did, either solo or as a group, was the skits were from a specific movie. For example, you have the 36th Chamber of Shaolin. That's their first album that they all did together. Then other solo projects have stuff from all the different movies. You had the Five Deadly Venoms up in there too. A whole bunch of other movies that came through. Street Fighter. There were a lot of them that they use in their skits, and that and their use of soundtracks for a lot of their sampling made for a unique formula.
My entire experience with Street Fighter began with a movie that we watched previously. Because I don't know if you remember, of course you remember, you watched True Romance with us.
Of course.
Right. That film, the beginning of that film, starts with Clarence actually taking in a martial arts triple feature. The two Street Fighter movies and Sister Street Fighter.
Uh-huh.
And so that was the whole... I fell into martial arts films because of other things I was either listening to or watching. It was never I just went out and watched one. I never just picked it up for the hell of it. It's like, that's what this is about? Okay, well, let's go watch this. I didn't fall into what is that horrible film that I made you watch? It was like bad funny. The one with Dolomite in it. Kung Fu Dolomite.
Yeah, Kung Fu Dolomite.
Right. It was basically an entire martial arts film dubbed over.
Very badly, even though it wasn't in Chinese.
Thanks to Rudy Ray. Was it Rudy Ray Moore?
Rudy Ray Moore. Yeah, that was him.
And I think he ended up doing that because of the popularity of the film that Woody Allen had done. Was it What's Up, Tiger Lily?
Uh-huh.
But either way, like I said, I fell into these movies. I watched the Dolomite movies, and then I was like, oh, okay, well, Rudy Ray Moore did a Kung Fu film. No, he didn't do a Kung Fu film. He got a hold of a Kung Fu film and made a spoof out of a Kung Fu film.
Yeah.
Very much like Kung Pao.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, pretty much. Yeah.
Yes.
Kung Pao was funny as hell.
That it was. I really like Steve Odenkirk. He's funny. And I do like I like some of my martial arts films kind of funny. Like I like Shaolin Soccer. That was a really good film. I did like that.
The comedic element. I don't know if you ever seen The Drunken Master.
The Drunken Master. Yep.
That was one of Jackie Chan's. Well, yes. Jackie Chan's first big hit. I believe it was his first movie too.
Well, I mean, as well it should be. I mean, but this was before. I don't know how to I don't want to insult Jackie Chan, but this is like before the Americanization of his entire career.
Yeah, no, way before.
So, I mean, yeah, what was that movie that he, Rumble in the Bronx, that he brought over, that he did over here?
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, you know, Jackie Chan just kind of blew up over here, got his own cartoon, which, by the way, the Jackie Chan cartoon, what is it, Jackie Chan Adventures, was funny as hell. I mean, honestly, I thought, I don't watch cartoons all that often, like straight up cartoons, but that was a Saturday morning cartoon. It was funny. It was really funny.
Do you ever watch the Mike Tyson ones?
Oh, the Mike Tyson mysteries? The Mike Tyson spoof on Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, but that was dope. But Muhammad Ali did have a cartoon back in the day.
Did he?
Yep.
What cartoon did Muhammad Ali have, of all things?
Yeah. I am pretty sure he did. Or he was a guest on a cartoon show.
Okay. And I know that, who else? Mr. T had his own cartoon.
That it was from the 70s. Yeah. From the 70s. The Adventures of Muhammad Ali.
Well, Muhammad Ali even had one of the most famously bad comic books in history.
He had a comic book too?
Well, not a comic book, but a comic book appearance. He fought in the ring with Superman. Right. Like one of the most...
Of course, Superman just kicked his ass.
I actually think Muhammad Ali won, if I'm not mistaken. I think there was something about it wasn't was it like a red sun or something? Something took Superman's powers from him before he stepped in the ring with Muhammad Ali.
So there's no way of knowing if that really happened with Ip Man. However, Ip Man was the guy who ultimately was Bruce Lee's sensei. He was his sifu, his master.
Oh, okay. So this is what this is about? It's about Bruce Lee's master, basically?
Yeah, he was Ip Man, the original Ip Man, because there was a person named Ip Man that existed. He was Bruce Lee's master. Oh. You see his picture at the end of the movie.
Okay. Well, I guess I may not have paid attention at that point. Once the movie was over, I don't think I went through the credits at all. But, yeah. I think that's probably my fault.
So towards the end of the movie, they show how, Emperor Hirohito surrendered in 1945, as we all know happened, World War II, and basically left China alone. And everybody was allowed to do what they, go back to their normal lives. However, it took a lot. Chairman Mao had to step in and do his Chairman Mao thing.
You know why I have to watch the second movie, right? Because as of the end of this movie, this guy got shot.
No, but he got wounded. You didn't finish. He survived that.
Did I not? Did I miss something?
Yeah, he survived that, and he went to Hong Kong. They went as a contraband in a truck. Him and his family.
I saw that, but he was laying down. It looked like he was dead.
No, he didn't die at that point.
Okay.
He became Bruce Lee's master. That definitely didn't happen until either the late 40s or the 50s, if that.
Okay, so I mean, then I am sadly mistaken here. That
you didn't finish it. Or didn't read the caption of it.
Apparently, I didn't.
At the end it says a wounded Ip Man managed to get out of Fushan and went to Hong Kong with his family.
Well, that's just sad of me. Look at me.
There you go.
I obviously deeply missed something at the end of the movie. I really did, and
yeah, he survives that.
Now it makes me feel like I should go back and watch the film because obviously, I missed a whole storyline.
Basically, when he fell and the whole pandemonium ensued, they must have managed to be able to sneak him out from all that craziness and got him in a truck and took him to Hong Kong.
Well, now I feel like I've done bad here. Like I should have been paying better attention, and I didn't pay the attention that I should have. I feel bad now. And now I'm just stumbling over my words.
It's okay. I understand.
This is just... It's not good. It's not good to stumble over my words when I'm the one supposed to be heading the stupid thing. It's not.
It happens. I'll head it in the meantime. But yeah, he survived that thing and a whole load of craziness. I'm sure you saw it ensued, and everybody went crazy, bug wild, and just broke the barricade that they had for them and tried to go see. I guess they must have knocked him out of there and that whole melee.
Okay. Well, I feel like I've done this movie a great disservice by not paying as much attention as I should have. I really do.
But to me, it started as a study on male ego and ended up as a study on triumph of human dignity.
Fair enough.
End of the day, there gotta be a balance between, your human dignity and trying to make a living.
I'm losing parts of my speech this evening. I actually had a kind of rough day, so my brain is not catching up with my body right now. Not even remotely. And I'm saying a little bit too much, which is also like death to a podcast. Do not into the microphone.
Thou shalt not
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all.
Thou shalt not
You're not supposed to. They don't want you to. Because well, see, I did it again, but it creates something worse than dead air. It gives you an impression that the person that's doing the podcast is not prepared to do the podcast, which we have said several times that we don't prepare. We watch what we watch and we sit down and we just do it.
Exactly.
And nothing against Miss B or Spooky or Junie, who none of those people that are frickin' Seth. Anybody that's not here tonight. But it's not easy to do a one-on-one two-man podcast that is not a well-prepared podcast.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Because there's a little bit of back and forth, but you need that extra filler, that third or that fourth person if you're just going to have a freewheeling conversation about things.
Exactly.
Or maybe my conversational skills are just deteriorating because I've been stuck behind these four walls for how long now?
So you haven't been out at all?
I've been out for walks, but I'm not out socializing.
Well, no.
No, this is
this
my social activity.
In my case, you're an antisocial when all this social distancing happens and your life doesn't change that much.
Fair enough. I mean,
in the last couple of years, in the last 2-3 years, much to my own enjoyment, I have become somewhat of an antisocial. And I'm mad about it in the least bit.
My life changed excessively when I went antisocial. Like, this gathering, this was my social activity. Inviting people over here, having a couple of drinks, sitting down, doing the podcast. We'd sit here for 3-4 hours and get things knocked out. Yeah. However, see, dead silence again. However. This thing here, what we're doing now, is not easy at all. Having to try to do the podcast from four corners, you're not getting a good audio quality. You're not getting the flow of conversation that you get when people are sitting within the same room with each other.
Yes, definitely.
Not easy at all. So here we are trying to do our best to make this podcast what it needs to be. And try to stay on subject. I'm causing a lot of dead air here.
Yeah.
By monopolizing the conversation, then forgetting my train of thought.
It happens.
Just talk a lot, and then all of a sudden I just drop off.
It comes at a certain age.
I'm not saying anything at all. Nothing at all.
So what do we have prepared for after the break?
What do we have prepared for after the break? I have got nothing prepared for after the break. Not a single thing. No, I got some games over here. I picked up a few new things over the weekend. They had a couple of decent sales in different places on things that I had never friggin' seen before. So why not try to introduce them to the podcast? You know,
definitely.
Because some of the best things are things that you've never fucking seen before.
That works.
Works for me anyway. I'm not sure how it works for anybody else, but that is the way it is going to go tonight. We're going to try a game that we haven't tried before. We've done all sorts of filthy things. Tonight, it might be a little cleaner. Just a little cleaner.
Slightly cleaner.
Just slightly.
Good. Because I'm a minor.
One of the things that I haven't broken out for the second half of the podcast in a while is trivia. And I have not broken out the movie trivia because it is no fun to just have me reading trivia cards and other people answering me.
Yeah, no, we should. It should be something to be done in person.
Something a little more back and forth. And that's what the difficulty of doing the games on the lower end of the podcast. It's again a need for back and forth.
Definitely.
We shall see in a moment. We're going to go ahead and take a very quick break. Thank you for listening to us discuss Ip Man very minorly. Again, we got maybe 10 minutes of talking about the movie and 10 minutes of yammering.
We talk a little more than a lot of other movies we review.
Actually, am I wrong in this? Did they kill Master Lu in this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shortly after he decided he was going to fight 3 more men, and he got his ass beat. Then he decided he was going to walk away with the rice.
They handed it to him.
Right. Fight for your rice.
Ip Man came through and said he wanted to fight 10 people.
Right.
And he kicked their asses.
Let's see what this guy really has. And they did. They saw what he had. He kicked fucking ass all over the place.
And he remained very dignified throughout the whole thing.
Well, that's the thing about him is he was just... There was no flair to him. That's the reason I think I liked him. It was just... He reminded me of how do I say this? David Carradine to the next level.
Yeah. Was a very dignified, humble dignity.
Right. He carried himself with sort of a grace, and he was very humble, and there was nothing forced about his movements.
He carried himself very dignified, almost regal, but he basically... So he carried himself very dignified, but handled himself very humbly.
And that's why I think I appreciated the movie like I did, was because of the fact that he carried himself very well. Like, you don't see a lot of martial arts films where the lead character carries himself with that kind of dignity. It almost looks... I mean, when you watch, like, the American popularized ones, when you see Chow Yun-fat, or you see Jet Li, or you see not Bruce Lee, you see Jackie Chan, you see some of the more Americanized martial artists, and they are sort of over the top.
More appealing to this male ego, where they feel like you're the loudest, and that you should always, the loudest in the room. However, in that other culture where they have this sense of humble dignity, the loudest in the room is the weakest in the room.
Exactly. So, I think that's part of why I really appreciated this film.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, even the general, the guy that played the general in this, when that was why I kind of liked that fight originally, was because you had this guy who was sort of, he carried himself with the same kind of dignity, but he was aggressive. You know?
Yeah.
And you had this other guy that had no aggression in him whatsoever. He had that kind of flowing calm. Every movement was, I wouldn't say planned, but his martial arts, he treated it like a chess match.
It was he moved like he knew what you were gonna do way before.
Yeah, your move, my counter. Your move, my counter. Your move, my counter. Yeah. You know.
But basically, his counters were moves as if he was expecting your move.
Exactly. Like he basically his counter was, basically him using their momentum against them.
Exactly, because he knew they were going to do it. That's what it looked like.
But I mean, I think that's why when I sat down and watched this movie, it's one of the few martial arts movies that I did not turn off.
It was badass in all kinds of ways, but it kind of gave you a lesson about, how a man should really carry himself.
That's how they should. Few men carry themselves with much dignity anymore.
Yeah.
No. Everything from aggression to microaggression.
Too many Steven Seagals, not enough Ip Mans.
Oh, Steven Seagal, just
super over the top.
That's like I said with the martial artists here. Steven Seagal, you got Jean-Luc. Yes. Jean-Luc Van Damme, the martial artist from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to go ahead and move into the break, and after we are done letting you listen to our sponsors, or I'm hoping you stay, please stay, listen to our sponsors. It'll take like 30 seconds of your time. That's how we get paid, and we will be back. We're going to play some games, have a little fun after the end of our break. I'm stumbling on my tongue. I'm just going to let him go now, okay? Okay. All right, thank you for sitting through our sponsors, and I did beg nicely, so I appreciate you staying around. I don't beg often, but when I do, it's for a good reason.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
We are going to go ahead and play a game called Best to Worst, the game of life experiences. And we are going to go ahead and start with the first card on the top of the deck. And the first card is Best and Worst Drink. Best and... I'm going to say that the best drink that I've ever had was actually, for some reason, a mojito that I had. I can't remember the name of the restaurant for the life of me, but it was a mojito. One of the best drinks I've had in a while.
There was this place, actually, well, I could say in recent memory. The best drink I had there's this place in Methuen that was called Brick House. Now it's Miller's Taverns. Brick House closed.
Okay.
But when it was Brick House, I used to go there a lot, and they used to have something like Blackberry Collins. That was incredible.
A Blackberry Collins?
Yeah, it was good though.
Oh, okay. The worst drink that you've ever had?
The worst drink that I've ever had. Well, I grew up with a lot of ladies in my family. It's a family thing that runs for generations and generations, that everybody has that talent for home remedies.
Right. Oh no.
So you get certain ailments and things like that, and they usually cure it with home remedies. I could tell you about a good 3 to 5 that are tied for the worst drinks for different things, like for common cold, pneumonia problem, kidney problem. Well, the kidney ones that I tried weren't for me, but I took a sip of weren't that bad. They were actually really sweet and tasty. But the stuff for the cold that contains different kinds of oils, they got garlic, onion, honey, fresh oregano in them.
Yeah,
that
sounds like
fresh. Not,
sounds like you're drinking something that you should be marinating meat in.
Somewhat, but the ratio is it gives it a different sense, a different taste, different feel than what you're speaking. It tastes really nasty, but you develop a tolerance for nasty taste because you grew up around those ladies, and those were things that really work. So they basically, sometimes if it was somebody else that was sick, they will give you a list. And usually we will go to the Asian market that wasn't too far in our neighborhood, and that was in New York, to go buy stuff like that. Like, give me this, give you a list, and you just go get it because somebody else was sick. If you were sick, they sent some of the other, older boys to go get it. And I grew up in that, with that culture or subculture of home remedies, and some things tasted super nasty.
I think I had a draw between two of they're not as bad as yours. Don't get me wrong.
I could tell you things that I'm not sure what they had in them, but I could still make a phone call to one of my great aunts, and somebody will tell me something to cure something.
Right. I guarantee you, your great aunt's going to look at you and just be like, "Oh, you drank that? You know that we were just... There's not... Oh, no, that wasn't going to help anything. It was more psychosomatic. We put all this stuff in there. You're supposed to drink it. You think it's nasty, but it's supposed to help."
No. It was really good. It was stuff that actually, you will go... There was something that they used to make for kidney stones, where you will go to the doctor and the doctor wouldn't believe that you've had kidney stones recently. Not good.
Fair enough. So my worst drinks, nowhere near yours. My worst drinks is a toss-up between two things. One, I used to drink shots of this hot sauce from down in Georgia.
As a dare? Like you lost the bet or
actually
something?
as for my health. So I lived in Georgia at one point, and the red clay down there creates a lot of dust. And so I had a lot of breathing problems. And to clear out my sinuses and to clear out my lungs, I would drink the shots of this hot sauce that would just burn everything out.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Second worst drink is... I stole a bottle of tequila that my mother and father brought back from Mexico. Back when you could actually bring shit back. And they brought back this bottle of rot gut, not labeled, worm in the bottom fucking tequila. Now, this bottle had sat underneath the cabinet in the in the kitchen forever. And one day, I decided I'm going to take this bottle, and me and my buddies are going to go out down a trail in his truck, and we're going to sit in the back of the truck, and we're going to drink this bottle of tequila. And to this day, I swear to God...
How many of you were there?
There were just 4 of us. To this day, I swear to God that they duped my parents into drinking gasoline with a worm in it. Because it smelled awful and it tasted awful. And I have had tequila since, and that is not tequila. Whatever was in there.
So you have the tequila with the silkworm in it?
Yes. And we had a bit of an issue, too. We were not going anywhere for a while. We drank it, and it floored us. So we just kind of sat in the back of the truck for a good long time before we felt comfortable enough to go anywhere.
In Florida? What part?
Oh, no, this was up here in Massachusetts.
Oh, out here?
Yeah, there's a rock quarry somewhere around the border between Georgetown and Groveland. And you go down a trail and there's a rock quarry over there, and we parked there. 4 drunk teenagers near a rock quarry, I'm lucky to be alive. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because we were not smart teenagers, we were fucking dumb teenagers.
Well, here's the thing. If you can reach a certain age and you don't think that you were dumb when you were a teenager, maybe you're still dumb.
Okay.
But honestly, I did a lot of dumb shit when I was a teenager.
Well, I've done a lot of dumb shit. A lot of dumb shit. That was some of the dumbest. Flipping a car, that was pretty dumb.
What kind of car was that?
It was an Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme.
How many were there?
It was just me and my friend.
And you managed to flip. Damn.
Flip the car, take out the windshield with my face, and walk away. I managed to do. With barely any scratches. So yeah. I see that look on your face. Yeah, no. We cannot translate the look.
You broke the dumb shit on me there.
I broke the dumb shit. Oh, no. The entire evening ended with me walking back to my house, and I walked up to my father with my friend John there. Now, we were laughing all the way home. Laughing. Because we walked away from what should have been a life-ending car accident. I flipped a car. You know. I was not wearing my seatbelt. There was no seatbelt.
Oh, but you flipped it driving, and it wasn't that you flipped it with your bare hands.
No, I flipped it. I was going 90 miles per hour in the rain down a back road.
Okay.
Misgauged a small downhill turn to the left. Back end of the car came around. And that was all I remember till we got out of the car.
How would you drive that fast in the rain?
Again, stupid fucking teenager coming home from a double date.
Wow. Must have been a real good double date. You were all kinds of excited.
Oh, we were high on life. Last double date we got to have for a long time because, you know, less one car.
You boys were on top of the world.
And so I walk all the way home, and I look at my buddy, and I go, I can say this now because my dad's dead. He can't come back from the grave and kick my ass for saying this. I nudge my buddy John, and I go, watch this, watch this. And the second the door opens and I walk in, I flip the switch from laughing my ass off with my buddy John on the way home to bawling my eyes out.
If that's not the most teenager shit.
I was the worst teenager. Well, as far as I was concerned, I was horrible to my parents. Horrible. The fact that they didn't put me 6 feet under. I'm a much better adult than I was a kid.
That sounds like it.
By a long shot.
Yeah, all right. Sounds like it.
Moving on. Next card. Best and worst animal.
Best and worst animal.
Best and worst animal. That's a very broad category.
My best and worst have both been cats.
I mean, are we talking like animals that we've owned, or are we talking best and worst like animals on the planet? I'm going to say animals we've owned.
That's a great question, pets. Sir. Well, animals I've owned, my best and worst were both cats.
Best and worst, both cats. And I can see that happening.
Oh, man, you don't know. And it's that kitty we used to have before we moved where we live now, when we were living in Methuen, where you picked me up before.
Yeah.
Here in Methuen, Colonial Village Apartments, we had this cat, but she was so cute and very loving, but she was also the devil. She jumped everywhere, scratched everything, and just shedding all over the place. And my best animal was also a cat, who was the most loving, more sweetest. It was more like a dog, more a dog than a cat, because he followed me around everywhere.
I'm going to tell you, my best and worst animals were also both cats. It's very easy to do. There's not a lot of wide temperaments for dogs. You got your happy dog and you got your angry dog. That's it. There are so many different varying degrees of cats, it's not even funny. You got everything from lazy to hyper to vicious to sneaky as fucking hell. My best cat was a cat that I had growing up. This cat that every night would hop up in my bed and lay down. The cat could not go to sleep unless it was laying at my feet. Every night. And every morning, I'd wake up to the cat licking me on the tip of the nose. That's how the cat woke me up. Best cat ever. Also, probably one of the cats that I tortured the most as a fucking kid. I don't know why that thing loved me. I mean, I didn't like hurt the cat. I wasn't like the asshole that like tied a fucking firecracker to my cat's tail and let it run. No, I wasn't that guy. But I distinctly remember putting my cat in a laundry basket, and it just sat there, and putting a couple of stuffed animals on top of it.
Oh, wow.
In a laundry basket. And the cat just kind of digging its way out and popping its head out the top and just looking at me like, are you fucking done now?
Yeah, pretty much. Can't blame him neither.
The worst animal that I've ever owned, and Serenity's first animal, when she was a baby, when we lived over here on River Street the first time before moving, was an all-white cat with blue eyes that we called Frankie. Frankie had blue eyes, so you got old blue eyes. Frankie was deaf as a fucking post. So Frankie would freak out anytime anybody would enter the room and she did not realize it. Frankie would immediately pounce on anybody. Not like viciously, not scratch or anything, but it would do this running bounce off of anything. It would just like hit me in the chest, or Ren would toddle into the room in the morning and the cat would come out of nowhere and just knock her over.
Oh, wow.
We could not keep that cat because you can't have an infant being knocked about the house by the pets. It's just, you can't do that. Too many sharp corners, just can't have it.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that was cats, both my best and worst animals. And mind you, I had a dog that I wasn't particularly fond of either. But it was nothing compared to the vicious cat. The dog just shit and peed everywhere. We couldn't train it worth the life of us, and then one day it just tore apart the furniture while we were out. We were like, yep, we're done. We're done. It's our fault for trying to train an Alaskan Malamute to be an indoor dog. Those are not indoor dogs. They are not.
Yeah, you can. You got your breeds that you can really turn a certain kind of dog into an indoor dog. You won't win.
No, not at all. There's certain dogs, especially large breeds, shouldn't be in small apartments.
Yeah, I mean, you got a couple of them that have no problem with it, but for the most part, you have a hard time.
Well, I mean, if you want to keep your furniture anyway, you know.
Yeah, because there are ways to energetic. They do mean well, but you know, you can pull something like that and not expect some disaster to happen.
Fair enough. Okay, we got one last card, and I think we can tie it up for the night. Best and worst vacation.
Best and worst vacation.
Best and worst vacation. That's why I said we could probably tie it up for the night there because, well, Yeah. My best vacation was probably a week-long trip up. It wasn't very far, just up to Maine. Old Orchard Beach, Maine. We stayed on the beach up there, stayed in a cabin, and in all honesty, it was probably one of the first times my family had given me the complete freedom to just fucking roam around someplace I didn't know.
So it felt good.
Well, I lived in Georgetown most of my life, and it was a very small town, and there's not a lot to do in Georgetown at all. And if I wanted to go somewhere, I had to fucking walk. So I'd walk from Georgetown into the middle of Haverhill because I needed something to do, you know?
My best vacation might have been one of my last trips I did outside of the continental United States as an adult. I went to Puerto Rico last time, 2008. I went by myself with a good chunk of money.
Okay.
It was a great vacation. Ask for no details.
My worst vacation also was as a child. My parents decided we were going to drive down the coast to go to Busch Gardens.
Oh my God, to Tampa?
Let me finish. We did not make it. We did not make it. We made it like halfway, and my father ran over something on the highway, which destroyed a tire and ruptured his gas tank. We had to have the car towed, and we spent a majority of the money for the vacation fixing his car and staying in a hotel for 2 days.
Where?
I think we got as far as North Carolina.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Were you guys close to anywhere interesting that you could have just gone and see?
Oh no, it was middle of nowhere, fucking North Carolina. Just nowhere. We pulled off the highway, and because he ran out, he ruptured the gas tank. You're not going anywhere after that.
Of all places that you could have gotten stranded, you get stranded of Randomville, population 3,000.
There was a hotel. I think it was it wasn't even a Motel 6. It was like some random ass kind of seedy. Honestly, you wonder why they didn't ask you why you're not renting by the hour kind of motel. It was that kind of motel that we ended up in. I wasn't swimming in the pool because it looked disgusting. We basically stayed in the bedroom. It was one of those bedrooms that you pop a quarter in the headboard and the thing vibrates. One of those. Yeah. That's where we got to stay for 2 days.
My goodness.
This was, mind you, this is long before they ever did that expose where they put the black light to people's sheets, so I didn't know that I should have been scared of that place, you know?
Yeah, that time probably not.
I didn't know that I should have been scared.
How old were you?
Oh God, this was before my mother started taking in foster children. So this was probably like 8, 9 years old. I was not all that old.
So how did that ended up rupturing the gas tank again?
Whatever he hit on the side of the road, it ruptured the gas tank, but also took out a tire on top of it. I can't.
So he wasn't. He was pretty much driving mindlessly, not paying attention.
He was driving at night. Whatever it was, it came up. It came up too quick. We're lucky we found somebody to take care of the car in the middle of the night. He had AAA.
Did he take any more road trips after that?
I don't think we went much of anywhere after that. Almost all the road trips we had were like around here, like going to Benson's Animal Farm and Canopy Lake Park. You know, all the stuff around here. We don't have to go far because that's right here, you know. So, I think that took the road trip out of him completely. You know?
My God.
What was your worst vacation?
My worst... it was I mean, it's been too long. I could talk about this. It was my ex-wife. We took a trip to Orlando. Like was it like for the weekend or something? Must have been. The thing is that at that time, I had just gotten to move to Florida. My best friend, also named Omar, had been living in Florida a couple of years, and that's how long I hadn't seen him for. He happened to live in Orlando. I told him there's like a little shopping strip, there's a Starbucks. Come through and meet me so we can sit down, have a little coffee, and talk.
Okay.
I don't know what it was that happened. But the thing is that she went crazy because I went across the street to the shopping mall to a Starbucks to meet with my buddy, who she hadn't met, her family hadn't met yet, just to sit down and talk a little while she was there visiting with her people. Okay. But that ruined that whole weekend. And it was the worst vacation because that weekend felt like 2 weeks.
Well, I can imagine after that kind of fight. Yes, definitely.
It was the most dramatic thing over that. I just went across the street. It wasn't like I left with somebody, So right. It was that bad. That had to be, and it was a weekend, but it lasted. That weekend lasted 2 weeks for me. That's how it felt.
That weekend had to have been quite miserable. I can imagine.
Well, it was a two-hour long speech, embarrassing me and yelling and whatever. And then after that, I just wanted to be gone out of there. I didn't want to be around anybody.
Nope. That'll definitely ruin a vacation. You're supposed to be relaxing and getting away from that kind of stuff when you're on a vacation, not taking it with you. Leave it home. Leave it at home.
It was.
I guess she's an ex for a reason.
And we're very good friends nowadays, but those were some crazy years.
I honestly can only imagine.
Man, listen. Bless her heart. She's not a bad person, but I feel like we just weren't good for it.
It's like they say, it's probably for the best.
Oh yeah, that was the end of that. Was definitely probably good person. We were at a level mentally and I guess maturity wise in our lives where we weren't a good match for each other.
When you get up in the morning and your first instinct is to tape your fists to start for the day,
yeah,
you know that there's just a slight issue.
So that was a long weekend, needless to say. That was my worst vacation, but my best vacation was that last time I went to Puerto Rico, because I had more money than I've had in the past when I've been there, and it was just me, myself, and I. I went to see my aunt that's been living there forever. I always go see her for like 15 minutes, then just take off. That's what I used to do when I used to go there, but I was, younger and single and all that beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I haven't been on a lot of actual vacations in my adult life, if I'm entirely honest, just because I haven't had the money or the time to take away. All my vacations have been staycations. So,
in the past, before my kids, and before I became like a what you would call a bona fide grown up, I used to travel a lot. Anytime I had two pennies to rub together, I would hop a plane and go somewhere. And I've been to a lot of places.
When I was young, like I just called myself an old man inadvertently right there. When I was younger, you couldn't nail me down at all. Like, I enjoyed being everywhere. Mind you, still, my everywhere was still within a 30-mile radius of home. But,
yeah,
But
you found pleasure in certain things.
I think my favorite pastime was going out to Boston and just spending the weekend down there. I worked 2 jobs specifically, so I had the money to spend Friday night up until Saturday night in Boston.
Oh, that's always a good time.
So, wouldn't come home till Saturday and then, Sunday, and then go right back to work. Work all week. Go back to Boston. And I almost always came back with just enough money to feed myself and get gas for the rest of the week. That's all I needed. Yeah.
That sounds. It's still like, something enjoyable as long as it makes you happy.
Oh, well, my biggest problem is that when I was younger, I didn't know what the hell savings meant. Nothing. Save what? What do you save for? There's nothing to save for. I'm just going to spend it. I had no idea. That was horrible.
Oh, no. I know that. I know what you're talking about because I was there.
Well, I feel like the Pinecast. We've discussed our fir trees for the evening. Christmas is over. No more pines. Anyway, I believe there's a natural end to the podcast for the evening. I'm losing my ability to speak the English language in an appropriate fashion anyway. So, on behalf of myself and Mr. Omar.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, everybody. Make it a great day, great weekend, great evening, whatever.
Yes, and have a wonderful week, too. And until we see you the next time. Yes. Good night.